Hey guys, this is Ken Lane. I was going to make a quick video, one, because I'm super bored, two, because I'm on just enough pain pills to where I probably can't read a book, meaning like I wouldn't be able to pay attention to it or watch a movie or anything like that. Three, I can only sleep so much. Four, for educational purposes, I wanted to discuss why I'm recovering from a surgery right now and how this has anything to do with you. It kind of does. Anyways, yesterday, which was Monday, March 20th, 2017, I had what was referred to as a right radical orchiectomy. Orchiectomy. I don't know. I'll write it in the below. Anyways, I basically had my right testicle removed completely, which is fine. You only need one testicle, and my other one is in perfectly good health. Anyways, I was going to talk about how the heck did I get myself into this pickle of only having one ball. And by the way, disclaimer in this video, I'm going to be using some language that is, I don't really care right now about, when it comes to talking about my own balls, because I'm also going to be talking about your balls. And, you know, I, we're all adults. It's cool. Well, back up several years ago, I was going through kind of a rough divorce, and I had a lot of bottled up emotions that I wasn't dealing with after I got through that. I thought it was fine. In my head, I'm like, okay, that was bad to begin with, whatever, let's move on with our life. But I was bottling up a lot of emotions from that. And I found out from that my digestive system is the greatest indicator of whether or not I'm nervous, whether or not I'm upset. They say my kishkas being like the Yiddish for your guts. They were just tied in knots. My digestion was off. I just felt weird and terrible, even to the point of having an ER visit once with a CAT scan that turned up nothing because it was all emotional in my guts. But this freaked me out, so I started researching a lot of different medical things. What could be wrong with me? I kind of became a hypochondriac. Instead of dealing with my emotions, which were manifesting in the physical, I was just looking into the physical even more and making myself even more of a wreck. Don't do it. Don't go inside your own head. Go see a physician. He'll probably tell you that you're just, going through something. Because your emotions can manifest in the physical very frequently. Anyways, one of the things that I did find, though, when I was researching all of this thing is how prevalent testicular cancer is amongst men between the ages of about 17 and 35, and how if that cancer is left untreated, it can spread to other parts of the body and actually become pretty dangerous. But it did also that type of cancer, testicular cancer, is extremely treatable. The success rate on it is like 95 to 97%, if not higher. If caught early, it's almost a non-issue if you catch it early enough. Anyways, all I learned from that was that I needed to check myself about once a month. Because I was a hypochondriac at the time, I was checking myself more like once a week, kind of made things sore. I went to my physician and did bring up something that was kind of interesting, and I said, well, I did notice, Doc, that my right testicle is significantly smaller than my left one. Is that a problem? And he examined him, and he goes, no, it's not a big deal. Some guys barely even have a second testicle. It's just like women. Most women don't have identically sized breasts. Most men are not going to have identically sized testicles. We're not, completely symmetrical beings in the first place. Like, oh, okay. So, but that just put that in my mind that I knew my body. I knew that my right testicle is smaller than my left testicle. So be it. So fast forward several years, happily remarried, new job, new house, new everything. Everything's just going super great, not paranoid or have any concerns or anything. But I did start to notice that my once very small right testicle was now equal size with my left testicle. It didn't have any lumps on it. It wasn't in pain. It didn't hurt. It felt a little bit heavier. It felt a little bit more firm than the left one. But other than that, it was completely normal. But because it was different than it normally had been in the past, I brought it up to my physician. He checked it out, and he said, actually, these two tests, they seem pretty normal. But because you told me that your right testicle used to be significantly smaller, I think I'm gonna write you a referral to get a sonogram, just to get it checked out. Like, okay, and he goes, it's not a big deal. Even me personally, I had a sonogram 4 years. This is the doctor talking. He said I had a sonogram 4 years ago for something that I thought was weird. It turned out to be nothing. Sonograms are completely painless. It's the sonogram is basically an ultrasound. What they use to look at babies in the womb and things like that. They put the jelly on or whatever. In this case, the jelly wasn't going on a beautiful pregnant woman's stomach. It was going on my balls, basically, testicles. Sorry, my tech, the guy doing the sonogram he looked just like Bulldog Briscoe from Frasier, like if that guy was wearing scrubs. That's what it seemed like. But they put him on there. That guy took a couple pictures of the inside of my testicles, sent them off to a radiologist, who then sent on their opinion to my primary care physician. He gave me a call about 2 hours after that, and he said, okay, well, we did see a growth in your right testicle, the one that you said is bigger now. So, could be cancer. Just kind of concerned about it, so I am referring you to a urologist. And yeah, that basically ruined my whole afternoon, because I was like, in my whole head, I was going cancer, 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 cancer. It's freaky, even if it's testicular cancer, because the doctor on the same phone call said, if it is testicular cancer, good luck is that the good thing is that it's extremely treatable. You do have another functioning testicle that's just fine. We'll get this worked out. But all I heard was cancer, 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 the C word. He goes, I'm going to have you have a referral with a urologist. I got a call about 2 hours after that from the urology clinic, and they wanted to see me the very next day, which was kind of scary to me, because usually when I had a referral to a urologist, it took like a month to get in. So they're like, next day, this must be pretty important. But yeah, I was a mess the rest of that night. I had a couple gigs with my band, and my mind just wasn't really into it. And then I had the appointment the next day with the urologist, and when he walked into the room, he already had a sour look on his face. Like, oh gosh, I saw your scan, buddy. That does not look good. You must be in a lot of pain. And I was like, no, I'm not in any pain, really. I mean, it's kind of heavy, but I'm not in any pain. And he's like, really? You're not in any pain? Then why did you bring it up to your primary care physician? And I go, because I noticed in the past that my right testicle was significantly smaller than my left. Now they're identical size. It's kind of concerning. So he goes, well, that's a good thing, because when we looked at the scan of your testicle, there is a growth within the testicle that is grown inside the testicle. It's completely, it's inside of the testicle and is pushing it out, which was also kind of funky, because it made the testicle not appear to be that abnormal. If I hadn't known that it used to be smaller, it would look like a regular testicle. It'd be just fine. I mean, it's all inside the testicle. It didn't have any abnormalities to it, really. But he goes, in these cases, it could be cancer, could be testicular cancer, or it could be a cyst, or it could be, you could have had some kind of infection that kind of led to a buildup of necrotic tissue on the inside of the testicle. But we're really not going to know until we get into it. He said, what I think we should do is go in and remove the entire testicle. The growth is probably making it where the testicle doesn't really function anymore anyways. I think that's what he said. And if we did a biopsy, that would be dangerous, because it might, if it is cancer, it would open it to the blood supply, and we don't want that spreading around in your body. But for right now, because it's completely consumed within the testicle, and if they did do a biopsy during surgery, then it wouldn't be good, because it would pretty much destroy the testicle to get to the core growth. So they scheduled, he basically said, this was on last Thursday, and he goes, what are you doing on Monday? Which is, I'm like, well, that's really quick. So I scheduled the surgery for 8:15 the next Monday. My mother and, not my mother, my wife and my father came with me to the hospital that Monday morning for the surgery. I got in at 6:15 check-in. The surgery occurred at 8:20. And within this surgery, what they do is they make an incision above the scrotum, kind of like you're getting a hernia operation. And they basically pull that whichever testicle it is, out through the incision in the top of the lower abdomen above the scrotum, so that they don't have to cut into the scrotum, which I'm very, very thankful they didn't have to do that. That would be much more painful recovery. So they did that. They said everything went great. The biopsy, as of right now, is still out. I still don't know whether or not it was cancer, or whether or not it was a cyst, or whether or not it's some infected necrotic tissue or something like that. I got an appointment in about a week where if it comes back that it was cancer, they'll probably do some additional scans on me and see if it had spread anywhere else. But actually, in a lot of these cases, that take care of it. I mean, that's why testicular cancer in men is so treatable. The recovery time for this is almost similar to like having your appendix out or having your wisdom teeth pulled or something like that. I'm not in a whole lot of pain. I'm just kind of swollen. It kind of hurts to bend at the waist, but actually walking is encouraged and things like that. If I'm standing, I'm actually fine. If I'm laying down, I'm fine. It's when I'm sitting and bending at the waist, it's kind of bad. One of the other reasons I wanted to make this video is because that I consider myself to be very blessed to have been put into a scenario where I was more aware of my body, to where I could recognize that one testicle was a different size than what it used to be, and that I could bring that up to my doctor. I truly believe that if I had not been as aware, this probably would have been ended up being a little bit later stage before it was caught, because I wasn't experiencing any pain. I didn't feel any lumps or anything like that. I just purely recognized that it was a different size than it normally is. So what I'm asking all my male friends, or people who have males in their lives between the ages of about 17 and 35, please make sure that you get to know your testicles. Check them about once every month. All you got to do is kind of roll them between your thumb and forefinger, make sure that it's smooth. Take visual note of what size it is. I wouldn't say you probably have to jot down notes or anything like that, but just keep in mind what size it is. And if you check it again in a month and it seems to be of a different size, just go to your physician. Just make an appointment with your primary care physician. Explain to them what's going on. Have them look at it, and if they determine that there's a problem, then they can make a referral to a specialist, and you can get this taken care of before it becomes a much larger problem. I've heard somewhere that the chances of a young man getting testicular cancer is about 1 in 350 or something like that. So it's not like outrageously rare. It's kind of a common thing. You'll probably run into 2 or 3 people that know 2 or 3 people that have had it, and most of the time they lick it. I mean, they don't lick the cancer, but they take care of it. It's treatable. It's very, very, very treatable. Probably one of the most treatable cancers in the whole world. If it is cancer, it could just be a growth of some other sort. But if it's caught early, it's treatable. The chances of dying of this, I saw, is like 1 in 5,000. It's very low. It's very treatable. But what I'm trying to say is that don't be afraid if you discover something. Just don't just put it off because you think the treatment is going to be terrible or anything like that. It's not that bad. The treatments to discover what it is are not that bad. They're not that invasive. They're not going to set you back. Everyone gets so scared of the word cancer. And cancer is something very serious. It's something to be taken very seriously. But one of the ways that you can take it seriously is by jumping in on it at very first sign. I mean, don't become obsessed to where you're checking yourself every week or something like that. You'll probably just make your testicles sore from checking them so much. But check them every month or so, Just take note. Give them a good look. Be familiar with them. If somebody asks you which one of your testicles is larger than the other, no. Have tests with your friends, Don't look at each other's balls or anything, but it's something you guys should be talking about. And I do have 2 friends that have gone through one actually did have testicular cancer, and he had one of his testicles removed. Another one was going through issue of cysts, and I call these 2 my testy besties. And these are guys that I talk to about this. If you know someone who is experiencing this, and you're afraid that you're maybe experiencing this, talk, open up, make this common dialogue. It's not taboo. We're all adults. We can talk about balls. If the breast cancer movement can have a bracelet that says I heart boobies, then we should have T-shirts also that say I love balls or something like that. Have your wife or something wear that though, because maybe you don't want to go around with a bracelet that says I heart balls. If you, unless you do like balls or whatever. I now have one ball. I am completely confident and secure in my one ball. And that about does it. I'll probably keep you updated on whatever I hear from now on. But I just wanted to make this because I'm super bored. Because I wanted to get it out. I wanted you guys to learn from my experience. Hopefully you guys don't have to go through this. And hopefully that maybe this can help one person catch any potential problems in time. And so they don't get any more severe. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach me in comments or something like that. Shoot me over a message. I can see what I can do. But do research on your own as well. There's so many different forums and things like that. The key is don't be scared. Be knowledgeable. Stay wise. And stay observant. Peace.